Morning ladies and gents, welcome to Thursday morning. And yeah, a bit overcast and a bit cold. I'm in my hoodie again. So first job this morning I'm having to go out is a bit of pipe work. So yesterday when the gearbox went on the mower, well in fact I'll show you that. There you go, that's one of the roller bearings out of the gearbox. Yeah, that should be round. Be more like that end rather than well, that end. But while I was down there I took some pipe down. This is actually a pipe from the high-ab trailer and pretty much just cut it in half. Well, yeah, near enough half. For hopefully the sledge. So at the moment I'm trying to weave it through the side of the baler up to the drawbar. Right, so I put this pipe in and it just runs along the chassis rail there and then drops down, if I can show you, just drops down into the drawbar hitch at the moment and just cable tied it all the way up to the end and just left it there for the moment. Not really wants to put under there, tucked away a little bit more because the sledge could, the edge of the sledge that's here could end up knocking it and breaking it, but that's the main idea anyway. So I'm going to start greasing her up now. I'm just going to start going through her. The one job I do have, I know I have, is down here on one of the knots. Sure as this side. There was, I can't find it now. There was one of these brass pieces that had snapped off. And we bought a new one to put on, but I don't think I actually got around to doing it. But I'll have to have a look. So, right, before I put this back together, my screen is like greasing. I can't get it off because my hands are greasy. Finally got the gearbox back in. Found there was a plate here to take off to get that UJ back onto its shaft. So I got the box back in, bolted up. I've had to change the spacers because I say that box is a different box, and it's just a few millimetres wider by the looks of it. So I had to put washers in between the bodywork and the gearbox, and I'm just about to put these back on again. And these are just 4 bolts either side and then 3 bolts around the top that holds his collar on. It does fill with crap in there, so it might have to be something else that I service. I'll look at servicing. But anyway, she's back in. Morning ladies and gents, welcome to Wednesday morning. It's a bit of a grey, cool start again today. Don't know what's up with weather. Anyway, so a bit of an update on this. I managed to get the gearbox back in again. Basically ended up having to grind off the drain bolt plug top. But it fits back in, it seems to fit right. I've had to change the spacers in it as well. And change them to basically washers from like almost like a bolt but with no thread in it. Anyway, that went back on. Managed to get that cover on the outside done, which I didn't know about before. Then went to put the PTO shaft back on and found that one of the UJs had obviously been damaged at the same time. So I ended up going down to contractor that again and took one look at it and went, yeah, you've bent the yokes. So I'll show you that now. Right, camera's at a bit of a kooky angle, but so that way you can feel it being notchy, and then that way is even worse. You can't even line up the UJ itself with itself. So yeah, it's done. So yeah, new UJ. It's actually a bigger one than the original that's on it. Also that gearbox apparently seems to be a dealer only gearbox, so a bit of a problem if we need to change it. That one's pretty much a standard one. It just seems to be that one for where drain plugs are and the fill level plugs and the rest of it. Yeah, well, thought I'd just show you as well. Even Gadget across rivers got baled up. Quite a few bales on there. And that's probably what, 4 acres? Yeah, he's done well. So my 2 little play patches, this one and the one down there, are drying out quite nicely. Obviously it's not very thick, so it won't take long. There is still a bit of green in the actual stems themselves. We'd hope we don't pick a buttercup up. But they are drying out pretty well. You can see all crinkles coming in. Snap's quite nice. A couple of different tests anyway. Literally just run it between your thumb and your finger and see what comes out the end. There's nothing really. Some of them are damper than others, but the rest of it's not too bad. Looks a nice colour. And say the only problem I've got with this is the ash content that's going to be in it. To the bits of rubbish, like it's a flake of bedding. I think I've just scared a runner off. He's trailing off down there. There's quite a lot of people that come from the village. It's about 2.5 miles, 3 miles that way, and they run up here, turn around at these gates and go back again. And I don't know if he's just appeared out of those bushes there or what. They look at me a bit funny, but hey, right, let's go have a look at that field now. Right, I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but the colour of that is really nice, like a nice light green, almost a lime green. So biggest tree we've got here under here is going to be where the wettest bit of grass is. So we'll pull some of this up. And it's not looking bad again. It's getting there. Definitely getting there. Right, so we got to Thursday and I'm back in the hayfield, and I don't know how well you actually see that, but the grass is like a really nice colour. It's just starting to bleach a little bit, which is a bit of a pain, but it's kind of a greeny colour. So I'm back out with the tedder at the moment. It's not looking very well. The forecast was supposed to have some sunshine by about 1 o'clock, but I'm not entirely convinced. They've not been very good with the weather forecast recently. So I'm just turning it over. The wind is taking some moisture out and we are getting there. I didn't turn it yesterday, I think I left it yesterday. So it was like this all day and there's no chance of sun. But there is a strong breeze, to be fair. And as we're fairly dry anyway, that's taking some of the moisture out. Just going slow around the headlands, literally doing 6k's at the moment, and just trying to flick it over, just trying to get that moisture from the bottom out of it, and yeah, we'll get on and try and get this field turned. I'll only do this slow around the headland because I don't want to throw it in the long grass, and then I'll actually catch half of this swath or half of this path on the last run, if you get what I mean, really throw it out. So yeah, right, I'll carry on. Right, I've just spent about 20 minutes greasing this up. We're probably going to be using this on Saturday, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Bossman wants to bale on Saturday because he's got his 2 lads back, and at 17, well 15 and 17 they can do some work. So yeah, we might be doing it on Saturday, so I want to get this ready for them. But there's loads of grease knuckles on it. In fact, I'll have to count out how many there are because it seems to be a lot. Right, hold on 1 minute. Right, so a quick top up brings me to 54. 54 grease nipples. Pretty much every arm's got a grease nipple. There's some on the bogies, some on the axles, some on the arms, on the rams, PTO shafts, back end. Just they're all over because there's a lot of moving parts on this. But so it's taken me about 20 minutes, which isn't too bad. The worst ones are actually these ones because they're underneath. They're underneath. On the other side, they're at top there. These ones are underneath, which is a bit of a pain. Quite nice that you can interchange them. That means that if I break them and leave with one rotor, I can swap it across. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just rode up and I've got the round baler on the back. Ooh. So we'll just have a go at these. I'm going to do the first couple and see how we get on because I've got to try and remember what I did last year. Well, that's the first bale. Well, that's the first bale of 2023 and it's a right mess. The 550 is on the string, you can see. because I was more worried about the baler going than the bale. I wasn't quite where I should be on the rows, so she is a bit lopsided. Plus she decided to go, I think, from there to there and then wrap that bit and then kind of do a bit there and then do about 500 layers there as well. So yeah, a bit of a Frankenstein monster, but she's done. There's probably another half of one in what's left, but it kind of works. But every time I work on it, obviously I switch the tractor off because, well, there's been too many people killed and injured with them when they're running. And never mind about the PTO guard, if that engine there's still running, no matter if you've got a shaft on it, it can still take you in if it starts up. Especially when you're playing down there or there or there. So, right, let's see, she'll put another one out. Good start. Forward. And rake off and out. Right, I might just concentrate on driving this time rather than baling. Well, I think something went wrong with the last one. So it was pretty much a 4-foot baler as I thought it was. But for whatever reason it didn't decide to trip. So like a 5.5 foot bale. Bugger. Oh, grass is looking alright then. It's looking rather nice. I've got some wet in it because, well, I went in the wrong bit. I was too busy looking at baler, but you can see middle bit is the first bit I baled, and then last bit on outside's the fire rings. So, yeah.